Chosen one. You did not arrive here by chance, algorithm, or curiosity. You were drawn by divine appointment, summoned by heaven at the exact moment your spirit was ready. There is a reason you've felt the tension lately, the inner stretching, the sense that familiar ground no longer fits. This is not confusion, this is confirmation. God is moving you because the land you're standing on can no longer sustain who you are becoming. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a supernatural shift. Not someday, not later, now. Heaven has been preparing a place that matches your spirit, your discipline, your obedience, and the oil on your life. As it is written in Isaiah chapter 43 verse 19, God says He is doing a new thing and it is springing forth even now. What you feel is the evidence of alignment. What you sense is the pull of destiny. Anointed one, this is more than relocation. This is elevation. This is divine transfer. This is God repositioning you for influence, provision, and purpose. Doors are opening that could not open before. Resources are being redirected. Favor is being assigned. You are not losing anything of value. You are being led forward. So still your heart, open your spirit, and stay with this word, because what God is about to reveal will explain why the shift feels intense, why the separation was necessary, and why the land ahead is already responding to your name. Chosen one, hear this slowly and let it settle in your spirit. What you are feeling right now is not restlessness for no reason. It is not dissatisfaction, impatience, or confusion. It is the unmistakable signal that heaven is shifting your coordinates. I know because I have stood in that same space where familiar ground started to feel tight, where rooms that once felt safe began to feel restrictive, where what used to satisfy no longer fed the soul. That moment is holy. It is the moment when God quietly whispers, "You've outgrown where you were. Now step into where you belong." Anointed one. The stretching you feel is not pressure meant to break you. It is purpose activating you. When God is about to move you, He first expands you. Your spirit grows before your surroundings change. That's why the old rhythms feel heavy now. That's why conversations feel shallow. That's why routines that once worked suddenly feel dry. Heaven is not punishing you. Heaven is preparing you. As it is written in Isaiah chapter 43 verse 19, God is doing a new thing and it is already springing up. The only question is whether you can perceive it. Let me speak plainly to you because I've learned this through lived experience. God does not move people randomly. He moves them when the soil they are standing on can no longer sustain what He has placed inside them. There was a season when where you were matched who you were. That season served you. It shaped you. It trained you. But now the same place that once protected you is starting to confine you. That tension is not rebellion. It is revelation. It is God showing you that this place was a classroom, not a destination. Chosen one. You didn't imagine the subtle grief you've been carrying. That quiet sadness you couldn't explain, the feeling of being thankful yet unsettled at the same time. I remember feeling guilty for wanting more while knowing God had already done so much. But God corrected me gently. He showed me that longing is not ingratitude when it comes from growth. Longing is often the sound of destiny calling you forward. You are not dishonoring your past by moving on. You are honoring the work God already finished there. There comes a point where obedience in one season becomes disobedience in the next. Staying when God says move will drain you faster than leaving ever could. That's why God sometimes allows the comfort to fade. Not because He is cruel, but because He is precise. Think of Elijah by the brook. When the water dried up, it wasn't abandonment, it was redirection. God had already prepared the next place. The drying was simply the signal that it was time to go. Anointed One, what you are experiencing right now is not loss, it is release. God is loosening your grip on what can no longer go with you. He is making the old space uncomfortable so you won't settle for less than what He has prepared. And yes, it hurts. Transitions always do. There is grief in growth. There is pain in promotion. Anyone who tells you otherwise has never carried real calling. But hear this clearly. The discomfort is temporary. The alignment ahead is permanent. I need you to understand something deeply. You are not being moved because you failed. You are being moved because you fulfilled. You passed the tests that were unseen. You obeyed when no one applauded. You stayed faithful in rooms where you were overlooked. You honored God in obscurity, and now heaven is responding. God does not promote loudly at first. He promotes quietly, inwardly, spiritually, before it ever becomes visible. Chosen One, the land God is leading you toward is not just a better place. It is a matching place. A place that can recognize your oil. A place that can support your assignment. A place where you will no longer have to fight just to breathe spiritually. You will not have to explain your hunger there. You will not have to shrink your fire there. You will not have to defend your growth there. The land ahead already speaks your language. This is why I want you to stay present and not rush ahead emotionally. The move starts inside before it ever shows up outside. God is first repositioning your thinking, your desires, your standards, your tolerance. He is teaching you to release what no longer fits, without bitterness, without fear, without nostalgia holding you hostage. You can honor what was and still obey what is coming. So take a breath here, Chosen One. Let go of the guilt for wanting more. Let go of the fear of the unknown. Let go of the false responsibility you feel to stay where God has already finished. This is not escape. This is alignment. This is not abandonment. This is assignment. And in the next moments, I'm going to walk you deeper into what this move really means, why it's happening now, and how to recognize the land God has been preparing specifically for you. Stay with me. What you are about to understand will bring clarity to the tension you've been carrying and peace to the decision that has been forming quietly in your spirit. Chosen One. This next truth may challenge how you've interpreted the move ahead, but it will also free you. What God is doing is not primarily about changing your surroundings. It is about aligning your assignment with an environment that can sustain it. Many people mistake divine movement for external change, but heaven always starts with alignment before relocation. This is not about a new address, a new title, or a new circle for the sake of change. This is about positioning your spirit where it no longer has to fight resistance just to function. I've learned this through seasons where nothing around me looked wrong on the surface, yet everything inside me felt strained. On paper, it should have worked. Spiritually, it was suffocating. That is often how misalignment feels. It doesn't always look sinful or broken. Sometimes it simply stops being fruitful. When God begins to reposition you, He does not condemn the old place. He completes it. And completion often feels like restlessness. Anointed One. You are not restless because you lack gratitude. You are restless because your spirit has matured beyond the infrastructure around you. You've been carrying revelation in rooms that only had language for routine. You've been stewarding vision in spaces designed for maintenance, not expansion. That is exhausting. And God never intended for you to spend your life fighting environments that cannot recognize what He placed inside you. This move is alignment. God is bringing your calling, your character, and your capacity into agreement with an atmosphere that can support growth without resistance. There are places where you have to explain yourself, constantly defend your obedience, downplay your hunger, or mute your faith to remain accepted. That is not humility, that is survival. And survival is not the inheritance of the chosen one. I remember seasons where I thought perseverance meant staying no matter the cost. God corrected that thinking gently but firmly. He showed me that perseverance is obedience, not endurance of misalignment. Sometimes staying is faith, other times leaving is faith. Discernment is knowing the difference. When God shifts you, peace replaces striving, even if the path ahead feels unfamiliar. Chosen one. God is not just moving you away from something. He is moving you towards something that has been prepared for you. There are environments already waiting that will not question your depth, resist your obedience, or misunderstand your fire. They won't worship you, but they will recognize the grace on your life. That difference matters. The right environment does not inflate ego, but it does affirm calling. As it is written in Psalm chapter 92 verse 13, those who are planted in the house of the Lord will flourish. Notice the word planted, not drifting, not constantly uprooting, not running from discomfort, but placed intentionally rooted, deeply nourished, properly. Flourishing is not about speed. It is about stability. God is moving you toward stability. This is not desperation. This is divine sending. You are not running from pressure. You are responding to purpose. The door opening ahead may not look familiar, but the peace attached to it will be unmistakable. When alignment is right, your spirit recognizes it before your logic can explain it. That's why some of you feel calm and terrified at the same time. Your flesh is nervous, but your spirit already knows this is God, anointed one. This alignment will not always make sense to those around you. Some people benefited from your staying. Some were comfortable with your shrinking. Some only knew you in survival mode and will feel threatened when you walk in authority. Do not let their confusion become your hesitation. Obedience often looks irresponsible to people who have never been called higher. God is placing you where your gifts won't have to fight for oxygen, where your obedience will be met with support, not suspicion, where your voice will not be silenced, but stewarded. That doesn't mean it will be easy. It means it will be aligned. Ease is not the goal. Agreement is. Chosen one, stop trying to force doors in spaces that were never designed to hold what you carry. You don't need to prove your worth where God is already saying, move on. The land ahead will respond to your presence because it was prepared for it. You won't have to announce yourself. You won't have to explain your calling. Your fruit will speak. This is not about chasing opportunity. It is about being established in purpose. God is not relocating you out of frustration. He is repositioning you out of fulfillment. The season you are leaving did its job. Honor it. Release it. Do not drag its limitations into the promise of the next. So pause here, chosen one. Let your breathing slow. Let the fear of the unfamiliar settle. Alignment always feels risky to the mind and relieving to the soul. Trust the relief. Trust the peace. Trust the quiet confidence growing inside you. In the next part, I'm going to show you how this land was not chosen randomly, but prepared intentionally with you in mind, and why nothing in your past was wasted on the way there. Chosen one, before you ever sensed the pull to move, before the restlessness formed words, God had already gone ahead of you. This next truth is vital because it reframes your entire journey. The land you are being led toward is not a reaction to your prayers. It is the fulfillment of a design that existed long before you knew how to ask. God did not wait for you to be ready to begin preparing it. He prepared it while He was preparing you. I want you to hear this personally. There were moments when you thought you were behind. Seasons when you wondered why things took so long, why doors closed instead of opened, why progress felt delayed while others seemed to move faster. I've wrestled with those same questions. But heaven does not operate on panic or comparison. God works with precision. While you were growing in discernment, the land was growing in capacity. While you were learning obedience, the soil was being conditioned. Timing was never the issue. Readiness was. Chosen. 1. God did not just form you in the womb. He shaped the ground where your destiny would take root. That means your frustration was not random. It was evidence that your seed was too strong for the soil you were in. You were trying to plant oak tree faith in shallow ground. The soil cracked, not because the seed was wrong, but because it was powerful. This is why so many things in the old season didn't make sense. The misunderstandings, the resistance, the constant need to explain yourself. The feeling that no matter how much you gave, the environment could not respond. It wasn't rejection, it was misalignment. And God, in His mercy, refused to let you stay planted where you would never fully mature. Anointed One scripture gives us a pattern here. When God led His people toward promise, He never sent them to empty places. He sent them to prepared places. Vineyards they did not plant. Wells they did not dig, systems already set in motion. In the same way, what you are stepping into has been quietly developing. Relationships are forming, structures are aligning, resources are being positioned. You may not see them yet, but they are real. Let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way. When God prepares land, He often hides it until the appointed time. If He revealed it too early, fear would rush in, control would take over. You would try to manage what was meant to be received. So God keeps it veiled, not to tease you, but to protect the promise. Silence is often security. Chosen one. Every closed door in your past was a form of protection. Every delay was a filter. Every disappointment redirected you away from soil that would have drained you. God was not breaking your heart. He was preserving your future. The places that rejected you were not strong enough to steward what you carry. If they had accepted you prematurely, they would have limited you. That is why you cannot carry resentment into the next season. Resentment poisons soil. Gratitude prepares it. Honor the places that couldn't hold you. They did their job by revealing they were temporary. You don't need to curse them. You just need to leave them. Anointed one. The land ahead is not generic. It is specific. It matches your wiring, your calling, your spiritual DNA. It will recognize your obedience without demanding performance. It will respond to your presence because heaven has already marked it. You will feel it when you arrive, not excitement alone, but recognition. A quiet knowing that says, this fits. This is also why the timing feels intense right now. As you matured in the secret place, the land matured too. You were being strengthened privately, while systems were aligning publicly. Heaven does not rush, but it does synchronize. And when both are ready, movement becomes unavoidable. Chosen one, do not bring the grief of what didn't work into the place God has prepared. Grief clouds discernment. Release the old questions. Stop replaying old conversations. Stop wondering what you could have done differently. Nothing was wasted. Every lesson trained you. Every loss refined you. Every stretch expanded your capacity to carry what is next. You were not delayed. You were being fortified. You were not overlooked. You were being shielded. And now the land ahead is not asking if you are qualified. It has been waiting for your arrival. So take this moment and settle your heart. The pull you feel is not pressure to perform. It is invitation to align. The soil ahead is fertile. The atmosphere is ready. And the timing is not almost. It is now. In the next part, I'm going to speak about the people connected to this land, why your move is not just about you, and how your obedience will unlock destinies beyond your own. Stay with me. What's coming will bring clarity to relationships, connections, and the purpose tied to your arrival. Chosen one. What you are stepping into is not an empty place. This move is not isolation. It is connection by design. One of the greatest misunderstandings about divine transitions is thinking God is moving you only for your own elevation. That is never the full story. Heaven never relocates a chosen one without considering who will be affected by their obedience. Your move is personal, but it is not private. It carries impact. I need you to hear this clearly because it will change how you view the weight of what's ahead. There are people tied to the land God is leading you into. Not just opportunities, not just resources, but lives, destinies. Assignments that cannot fully activate until you arrive. You are not showing up late. You are arriving on time. Anointed one. I've learned that when God begins to reposition you, relationships often start shifting before locations do. Conversations change. Familiar connections grow quiet. Some people drift without explanation. Others misunderstand your silence or your growth. That can hurt, especially when you love deeply and value loyalty. But hear me, not everyone is meant to cross every season with you. Some were assigned to the process, not the promise. There are people in the next land who have been praying for what you carry, even if they don't know your name yet. They've been asking God for wisdom, for clarity, for partnership, for leadership, for someone who understands both fire and faithfulness. And while you were being refined, God was preparing hearts to recognize you not as a savior, but as a collaborator in his plan. This is why your obedience matters beyond your own breakthrough. Romans chapter 8 verse 19 speaks of creation waiting in eager expectation for the revealing of the children of God. That means environments, systems, and people respond when alignment happens. When you arrive where you are called, things begin to unlock that were dormant before. Chosen one, think back to moments in your past when you felt unseen or misunderstood. Times when your vision felt too big for the room. When your hunger for God felt inconvenient to others. You weren't wrong. You were early. And early voices are often silenced in places not designed to hear them. That doesn't make the voice invalid. It makes the environment limited. The land ahead is different. Your fire will not offend there. It will awaken. Your presence will not threaten. It will stabilize. The people you are about to encounter are not looking for perfection. They are looking for authenticity, for depth, for someone who has walked through fire and come out grounded, not bitter. Anointed one. These connections will not be shallow. They will be covenant level. Not everyone you meet will stay, but the ones assigned will recognize you without needing explanations. There will be an ease in the alignment. Not effortlessness, but agreement. You will sense it in the conversations, in the way ideas flow, in the mutual respect for calling. Do not be surprised when people begin to say things to you that echo prayers you never shared out loud. That's how divine alignment works. God confirms direction through people without needing you to self-promote. When alignment is right, validation follows obedience, not the other way around. Chosen one. This move is not about influence for influence's sake. It is about impact. God is not enlarging your platform to impress others. He is expanding your reach to heal, build, teach, and restore. Your story carries keys for people who are stuck where you once were. Your obedience becomes permission for others to move. This is also why the enemy fights transitions so hard. If he can delay your arrival, he can delay the breakthroughs tied to you. If he can entangle you in guilt, fear, or loyalty to seasons that have ended, he can stall what God intends to release through your presence. But hear this. Resistance does not cancel calling, it confirms it. Anointed One, let go of the need to be understood by everyone. The people who matter will recognize the grace on your life. Those who don't were never meant to steward your next season. You are not abandoning anyone by obeying God. You are honoring the assignments God gave both you and them. I want to ground this in something real. I've had to walk away from spaces where I poured my heart, only to realize later that my leaving created room for others to step into roles they were avoiding. Obedience can feel selfish at first, but in hindsight it is often the most loving thing you can do. God rearranges everyone when one person moves correctly. Chosen one, you are not walking into popularity, you are walking into purpose. Some will celebrate you quietly, others will watch from a distance, some will misunderstand. That's okay. Your job is not to manage perceptions. Your job is to steward obedience. The people waiting for you don't need you to perform. They need you to arrive whole, humble, and aligned. They need the version of you shaped by hidden seasons, not the version trying to prove something. That is why God took his time with you. He was forming a guide, not a celebrity, a builder, not a performer. So breathe here. Release the fear of leaving people behind. Release the guilt of choosing obedience over familiarity. What you are stepping into was prepared for you, and the people connected to it are prepared too. In the next part, I'm going to speak about the spiritual resistance that often intensifies right before the move, why the battle feels heavier now, and how to discern warfare without misreading it as failure. Stay with me. What you understand next will keep you steady as you cross into what God has already assigned. Chosen one. If the pressure has increased lately, if the resistance feels heavier right before movement, I need you to understand what is happening so you don't misread the moment. Every divine shift is preceded by spiritual opposition, not because God is uncertain, but because the enemy is aware. He recognizes patterns even when people don't. He knows when territory is about to change hands. What you are feeling now is not random fatigue. It is not sudden weakness. It is not you losing momentum. It is the weight of transition pressing against you at the threshold. Before new land is occupied, old ground tries to hold you. Before promise is entered, pressure intensifies. This is not the time to question your calling. This is the time to guard your discernment. Anointed One. I've learned that the enemy rarely fights you where you're going. He fights you right before you get there. He attacks your identity, your clarity, your peace. He tries to exhaust you emotionally, so you mistake warfare for wisdom and retreat when you should advance. He doesn't need to destroy you. He just needs to delay you. This is why the conflict feels strange. Conversations become tense without cause. Old insecurities resurface. Sleep becomes restless. Doubt whispers louder than usual. Even victories feel muted. That does not mean God stepped back. It means you are close enough to the promise that resistance is required to slow you down. In the book of Daniel, when understanding was requested, the answer was released immediately, but it was delayed in the unseen realm by spiritual opposition. The delay was not denial. The delay was interference. Many people give up during interference because they assume silence means God changed his mind. He didn't. He already answered. Chosen one, when answers are near opposition, intensifies. When alignment is close, confusion increases. That is why you must not interpret the battle as a signal to stop. It is confirmation to stay steady. The shaking you feel is not meant to break you. It is meant to loosen what cannot follow you into the next season. I want to ground this in lived reality. I've had moments where everything felt heavier right before clarity arrived, where temptation to settle, to compromise, to delay obedience became louder than ever. That is not coincidence. That is strategy. The enemy knows he cannot stop what God has ordained, but he can try to wear you down before you arrive. Anointed One, this warfare is not punishment, it is preparation. God is strengthening your spiritual muscles for the territory ahead. New land requires new lenses. Old habits cannot steward new authority, so God allows pressure to reveal what still needs refining. Not to shame you, but to sharpen you. You are not being crushed, you are being conditioned. Think of how fire purifies gold. The heat does not destroy what is valuable, it removes what cannot remain. The intensity you feel now is burning away attachments, fears, and false dependencies that would sabotage you later if left unchecked. This is also why emotional reactions feel heightened. God is teaching you to respond, not react, to discern, not assume, to stand firm without needing to fight every battle. Some resistance is not meant to be confronted, it is meant to be outlasted. Chosen One, do not let temporary discomfort talk you out of permanent alignment. Do not interpret spiritual warfare as a sign you missed God. It is often proof you heard Him clearly. The enemy does not waste energy on moves that don't matter. Remember Hannah. She was mocked, misunderstood, and emotionally pressed right before birthing something holy. The pain was not the end. It was the signal that fulfillment was near. Pressure precedes birth. Always. You may be standing between grief and fulfillment right now, mourning what you're leaving while sensing what's coming. That space is vulnerable, and the enemy knows it. That's why he tries to convince you that obedience is too costly, or that waiting would be safer. But hear this clearly. Delayed obedience often costs more than immediate obedience ever will. Anointed One, you are not weak for feeling this. You are human. Even Jesus felt the weight before crossing into purpose, but he did not retreat. He submitted. Submission is not surrendering your calling. It is aligning your will with heaven's timing. This final resistance is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal the version of you that is ready. Ready to walk without needing validation. Ready to move without full explanation. Ready to trust God beyond emotional comfort. So this is how you stand in this moment. You simplify. You quiet unnecessary voices. You guard your peace like sacred ground. You return to the basics of obedience, prayer, rest, truth. You don't overinterpret emotions. You don't rehearse fear. You stay anchored. Chosen One. The land ahead is real. The promise is intact. The vision is valid. What you are experiencing now is the narrowing before the breakthrough, the final stretch before the crossing. The pressure is not a warning sign. It is a birth sign. Hold your ground. Stay obedient. Keep moving forward, even if it's one quiet step at a time. Because once this resistance breaks, God will not leave you wandering. He will lead you directly into the place that has been waiting all along. In the next part, I will speak about what happens after the battle, how the land responds when you arrive, and why the next season will feel different at a soul level. Stay with me. What comes next brings clarity, rest, and confirmation that the struggle was never in vain. Chosen One, after the resistance comes the revealing. After the pressure breaks, the place responds. This is where many people misunderstand what alignment actually feels like. They expect fireworks, instant ease, or dramatic confirmation. But what God often gives first is something quieter and deeper. Recognition, belonging, a sense of arrival that settles your spirit before it ever changes your circumstances. The land God is bringing you into will feel different, not because everything is suddenly perfect, but because your soul will stop fighting the air. You will notice it in subtle ways at first. The conversations won't drain you. The work won't require you to shrink. The ideas you carry will finally have room to breathe. There will be effort, yes, but not resistance. Movement, but not strain. Anointed One. This is what happens when alignment replaces survival. For a long time you learned how to endure. You learned how to adapt, to be flexible, to carry weight quietly. That training was necessary, but endurance is not the goal. Stewardship is, and stewardship requires an environment that can hold what you carry without breaking it or you. I remember the first time I stepped into a space that matched my spirit. Nothing about it looked glamorous. There was no announcement, no applause. But my body relaxed in a way I didn't realize. It had been tense for years. That's when I understood. Alignment doesn't shout. It settles. It brings rest, not because the work ends, but because the struggle to belong does. Chosen One, the land ahead will not restrain your fire. It will receive it. Where before your passion felt excessive, here it will feel necessary. Where before your discernment felt inconvenient, here it will feel essential. Your voice will not be silenced. It will be invited. Your gifts will not be questioned. They will be called upon. This is where the favor you carried in hidden seasons begins to surface naturally. Not as promotion you chase, but as opportunity that responds to you. Doors will open without manipulation. Help will come without conditions. Support will show up without you having to perform for it. This is not luck. This is alignment. Anointed One, do not confuse rest with stagnation. The rest you are entering is not passive. It is productive peace. The kind of rest that allows clarity to sharpen, vision to mature, and authority to stabilize. You will move with confidence, not haste. You will build with wisdom, not fear. The pace may even slow at first, not because progress has stopped, but because precision has increased. The land will honor your process. It will not ask you to erase your scars to be accepted. It will recognize them as evidence. Evidence that you can carry responsibility without pride, that you can hold influence without losing humility, that you understand both fire and restraint. Chosen One, provision in this place will match purpose, not excess for ego, but supply for assignment. You will notice that resources align with obedience, that when you move in integrity, things flow. When you choose peace, doors stay open. This land does not reward striving. It responds to alignment. There will still be challenges. Do not romanticize the next season, but the challenges will feel different. They will stretch you without diminishing you. They will grow you without threatening your identity. You will no longer be fighting for legitimacy. You will be stewarding responsibility. This is where many chosen ones must renew their mindset. You are not stepping into visibility to be admired. You are stepping into responsibility to be faithful. Influence here is not about being seen. It is about being trusted, and trust is built quietly. Anointed One, your voice will carry weight because your life carries integrity. Your words will land because your walk has been tested. You will find yourself in rooms you once prayed about, not as a guest, but as a contributor. You will not need to announce your calling. The fruit will speak. There is also healing in this place. Healing you didn't know you still needed. When the environment stops fighting you, your nervous system begins to rest. Old survival patterns fall away. Hypervigilance softens. You stop bracing for rejection. That healing is part of the promise. God does not just relocate you to use you. He relocates you to restore you. Chosen One, do not bring old defensive habits into new alignment. You will not need to prove yourself here. You will not need to compete. Comparison has no power in assigned territory. The land will affirm you without flattering you. This is where your identity stabilizes, not because people agree with you, but because you finally agree with who God made you to be. You stop apologizing for your depth. You stop minimizing your obedience. You stop negotiating your standards to stay included. The next season is not about becoming someone new. It is about becoming fully who you already are. The version of you that was refined through isolation, tested through delay, strengthened through obedience, is now stepping into an environment that was refined to receive you. And this is why the transition matters so deeply. You are not just moving to a new place. You are stepping into a new posture, from striving to stewarding, from enduring to building, from surviving to establishing. In the next and final part, I will speak about how to walk into this land with wisdom, humility, and authority, and how to live daily in alignment, so the promise does not just arrive, but remains. Stay with me, chosen one. You are closer than you think. Chosen one. Now we come to the most decisive moment of this journey. After all the stretching, the refining, the waiting, and the resistance, heaven is no longer asking you to prepare. Heaven is inviting you to walk, not rush, not strive, walk. Because what is before you is not a possibility to chase, it is a promise to receive. This is where many hesitate, not because they don't believe God, but because they underestimate what obedience actually requires. Obedience is not loud, it is consistent, it is not dramatic, it is daily. Walking into what God has assigned you means living from alignment, not emotion. It means choosing trust even when feelings fluctuate. Anointed one, the land before you is not something you compete for. It was never meant to be earned by performance. It was assigned before you arrived. That is why striving feels wrong now. That is why hustling drains you instead of energizing you. You are not being promoted by effort. You are being positioned by obedience. As it is written in Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 8, God tells his people that the land has already been given and instructs them to go in and take possession. Notice the order: given first, possessed second. You are not trying to convince God to bless you. You are aligning yourself to walk into what he already declared. Chosen one. The wilderness did not weaken you, it refined you. The hidden seasons did not delay you, they prepared you. Every moment where no one saw your faithfulness built strength that will now sustain you. You were being shaped in private so you could stand in public without losing yourself. This is not about perfection. Heaven is not waiting for flawlessness. Heaven responds to positioning. You showed up when no one clapped. You obeyed when it cost you comfort. You stayed faithful when walking away would have been easier. And now God is saying, now walk. This walking is not passive. It requires intention. You walk differently when you know the land is already yours. You speak differently. You decide differently. You steward differently. You stop entertaining fear as if it still has authority over you. It doesn't, not anymore. Chosen one. This is not the time to hesitate or overanalyze. When God says move, clarity follows motion. Many people wait for certainty before obedience, but heaven often releases certainty after obedience begins. You do not need to see the whole path. You only need to take the step that's in front of you. Fear will try to convince you that staying is safer. It isn't. Familiarity is not protection when God has already shifted. Holding on to yesterday while God is placing tomorrow in your hands will only create inner conflict. You are not walking away from safety. You are walking into sovereignty. This transition is not merely external, it is internal realignment. Your mindset must match your inheritance. You are not stepping into spaces your resume qualifies you for. You are stepping into territory your spirit recognizes, authority in rooms your logic could never access, favor that flows not from connections but from obedience. Anointed one, this is legacy ground. You are not chasing success. You are walking into impact that outlives you. The years of pressing will now release influence. The The years of silence will echo in rooms built to hear your voice. The waiting season is turning into a walking season. But hear this clearly. Walking into promise does not mean abandoning discipline, it deepens it. Excellence becomes your language, faithfulness becomes your rhythm. Spiritual maturity is no longer about what people see. It is revealed in private discipline. Excellence is prophetic preparation. The way you steward mornings, conversations, finances, and rest matters, not because you are trying to earn favor, but because you are preparing to carry weight. Legacy is built in ordinary obedience done consistently. Chosen one. This next season will not require you to be flashy. It will require you to be faithful. Waking up earlier to pray even when no one notices. Setting boundaries where access once existed. Speaking truth without aggression. Leading without needing validation. This is how alignment stays aligned. Let your actions preach louder than your declarations. Let your home become an altar. Let your peace be guarded like holy ground. Show up to assignments, even the small ones, with reverence, because heaven watches how you steward the unseen. And if doubt whispers along the way, remember this truth. You were never just being moved. You were being made. The making was not punishment. It was permission. Permission to carry glory without collapsing. Permission to walk in purpose without losing humility. Permission to release heaven one faithful step at a time. So walk humbly, walk boldly, walk daily. With your head lifted, your heart anchored, and your eyes fixed not on where you've been, but on the one who goes before you. Let your habits testify that you know who you are. Chosen one. The land is ready, the time is fulfilled, and your spirit already knows the way. Now walk, chosen one. Now that your feet are moving and your posture has shifted, there is a deeper work heaven is doing within you. This part of the journey is quieter, but it is just as sacred. God is not only establishing you in new territory, He is refining how you live there. Arrival is not the end of transformation. It is the beginning of stewardship. Many people misunderstand this stage. They assume that once the door opens, everything should feel effortless. But what actually changes is not the absence of responsibility, it is the quality of it. You are no longer carrying weight alone. You are carrying it with grace. And grace does not remove discipline, it empowers it. Anointed one. This is where your daily choices begin to matter more than your dramatic moments. Alignment is maintained in the ordinary, the way you wake up, the way you speak when no one is listening, the way you manage your time, your money, your energy. These are not small things. They are the framework of legacy. I've learned that new land exposes old habits quickly, not to shame you, but to heal you. In survival seasons, you learn to react quickly, to guard constantly, to stay alert for threat. But in aligned territory, constant guarding becomes exhausting. God is teaching you how to live from trust, not tension. Chosen one, you will notice moments where your old reflexes try to resurface. The urge to over-explain, the instinct to overwork, the need to prove your value before being asked. Pause there. Those patterns kept you alive before, but they are not required here. This land does not demand performance to grant belonging. This is where surrender deepens. Not surrender of calling, but surrender of control. You begin to let God lead the pace. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop rushing fruit. You allow processes to mature naturally. This is uncomfortable at first, especially if you've been conditioned by urgency. But peace is not passive. It is powerful. Anointed one. The greatest threat to alignment is not opposition. It is impatience. Wanting everything to happen now, wanting recognition before roots are deep, wanting visibility before systems are strong. God loves you too much to rush what must be sustained. I want to share something personal here. In my own journey, the moment I entered aligned space, I expected acceleration everywhere. Instead, God slowed me down in certain areas, not to delay me, but to stabilize me. He showed me that speed without structure leads to collapse. Alignment is about longevity, not momentary momentum. Chosen one. God is building you to last. That means teaching you how to rest without guilt, how to say no without fear, how to choose quality over quantity, how to value hidden obedience as much as visible impact. This is where spiritual maturity matures. You may also notice that your sensitivity increases in this season. You discern atmospheres more clearly. You feel when something is off faster. This is not anxiety, it is discernment sharpening. But discernment must be stewarded wisely. Not every discomfort is a warning. Not every pause is resistance. Learn to listen without reacting. Anointed one, you are not here to correct everything you see. You are here to steward what you are assigned. Alignment brings clarity about what is yours to carry and what is not. That clarity will protect your peace if you honor it. This is also where humility guards authority. God will give you influence, but He will also test how you carry it. Influence without humility becomes control. Authority without compassion becomes harsh. The land responds best to those who remain teachable. Chosen one, remember this. You did not arrive because you are better than others. You arrived because you were willing to be formed. That posture must remain. Stay low in spirit, even as God lifts you in responsibility. Stay dependent, even as your capacity grows. There will be moments when things flow easily. Receive them with gratitude, not entitlement. There will be moments when progress feels slower than expected. Receive those with patience, not frustration. Both are part of stewardship. Anointed one alignment also brings clarity about relationships. You will know who is meant to walk closely and who is meant to walk briefly. Not everyone has access to every part of you. Boundaries are not walls. They are wisdom. God protects what He establishes. As you continue walking, you will find that your confidence is quieter now. Not because you doubt yourself, but because you no longer need to announce who you are. Identity has settled. When identity settles, striving fades. This is where your life begins to preach without effort. Your peace becomes testimony. Your consistency becomes influence. Your integrity becomes invitation. People will ask how you stay grounded. The answer will not be a technique. It will be alignment. Chosen one this season is about sustainability. God is teaching you how to live in promise without burning out, how to build without losing intimacy, how to lead without losing love. These lessons are subtle, but they are sacred. So keep walking, keep listening, keep stewarding the small things. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. Heaven is not rushing you. It is rooting you. In the next part, I will speak about sealing this season, how God confirms alignment through peace and fruit, and how to recognize when heaven is saying, "This is home. Stay with me." What comes next will anchor everything God has begun. Chosen one. This final part is about sealing what heaven has already established. Not sealing it with noise or emotion, but with recognition. There comes a moment in every divine transition when God allows your spirit to exhale and say, "This is home." Not because everything is finished, but because everything is aligned. This is how God confirms placement. Not through constant excitement, but through peace that remains. You will know you are where you are meant to be because your spirit no longer argues with your obedience. The inner conflict quiets. The second guessing fades. You stop wondering if you misheard God. Clarity replaces striving. Anointed One. Peace is not the absence of challenge. It is the absence of resistance to who you are becoming. You will still work. You will still stretch. You will still face responsibility. But the work will no longer feel like you are fighting against yourself. Your soul and your assignment will move in the same direction. I want you to understand this deeply. God does not confirm alignment by removing effort. He confirms it by multiplying fruit. You will begin to see outcomes that match obedience, conversations that open doors without forcing them, opportunities that align without manipulation, provision that meets purpose without compromise. This is fruit, not luck. Chosen One. Fruit takes time, but it grows naturally in good soil. You will notice that what once took constant pushing now responds to faithfulness. That does not mean you stop being diligent. It means diligence is no longer draining. Your energy returns. Your creativity sharpens. Your joy stabilizes. This is also where gratitude becomes essential. Gratitude keeps the heart soft in fulfilled seasons. It reminds you that this place is not something you conquered. It is something you were entrusted with. Gratitude protects alignment from entitlement. Anointed One, stay aware of this subtle temptation. When life begins to work, pride tries to whisper that you figured something out. Shut that voice down quickly. You are here because God guided you, sustained you, and positioned you. Never forget the seasons where you had nothing but obedience and hope. Those memories will keep you humble and generous. This is also the season where your testimony becomes quieter but stronger. You will no longer feel the need to explain your journey. Your life will speak. People will notice your steadiness, your discernment, your peace. They may ask what changed. You will know the answer. Alignment. Chosen One. This is what establishment looks like. Roots go deep. Systems stabilize. Identity settles. You stop asking, do I belong here, and start asking, how do I steward this well? That shift is maturity. There will be moments when God reminds you of the journey you walked to get here. Not to reopen wounds, but to show you how far you've come. When that happens, do not rush past it. Let gratitude rise. Let worship return. Worship is how you stay aware that everything you carry flows from intimacy. Anointed One. Heaven also confirms alignment through multiplication. What you pour into others begins to return multiplied. Wisdom shared bears fruit in someone else's life. Encouragement given comes back strengthened. Seeds planted quietly produce harvest you didn't expect. This is kingdom increase. But remember this: multiplication does not mean overload. Guard your capacity. Not every opportunity is yours to take. Discernment remains essential even in good soil. Just because something grows easily does not mean it is yours to steward. Ask God before expanding. Ask God before committing. Alignment is preserved by listening. Chosen One. There will also be moments when the old tries to pull at you. Familiar patterns, familiar fears, familiar temptations to return to what once was. When that happens, do not panic. Simply recognize it for what it is. Transition residue. It fades when not entertained. You are not meant to revisit the wilderness to prove how strong you've become. You are meant to build where you've been placed. Keep your focus forward. Keep your heart open. Keep your posture humble. This season is not about arrival alone. It is about remaining faithful, remaining teachable, remaining dependent on God even as responsibility increases. This is how legacy is sustained. Chosen One, let me speak this over you clearly. You did not miss your moment. You did not arrive late. You did not misunderstand God. The tension you felt was real. The pull was holy. The obedience was costly. And the alignment is now evident. So stand still for a moment. Breathe deeply. Let your spirit recognize what God has done. He moved you to land that matches your spirit, not to impress others but to establish you, not to elevate ego but to release impact, not to end your journey but to anchor it. This is not the end of becoming, it is the beginning of building. And as you move forward from this place, do so with confidence that is quiet, faith that is steady, and obedience that is daily. Chosen one, this is home. Chosen one, as this moment draws to a close, let your spirit rest in the assurance of what heaven has already set in motion. This was not just a message you listened to. This was a divine encounter, a confirmation, a sacred alignment. You are standing in your Kairos moment, the appointed time where preparation meets promise and obedience meets release. Anointed one, the transfer has already begun. What was delayed is now aligning. What was hidden is now responding. God has gone before you, and the land ahead recognizes your footsteps. You are not late, you are not early, you are right on time. Walk forward with reverence, confidence, and gratitude, knowing that every step you take is covered, directed, and established by heaven. May peace guard your heart. May clarity anchor your decisions. May courage rise in your spirit as you move into what God has prepared. Stay faithful in the unseen. Stay aligned with the anointing. Stay grateful for what is unfolding even before it fully appears. What God has spoken will not return void. And if your spirit bears witness to this word, don't let it end in silence. Gently write in the comments, Amen. I receive and I walk. Let it be your agreement with heaven. And if you feel led, remain connected here so you don't miss what God continues to release. Until we meet again, chosen one, walk, boldly carry the fire, and remember this truth: the land is ready, and so are you.